The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John. There was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there is in Jerusalem at the sheep gate a pool called in Hebrew Bethesda, with 5 porticos. In these lay a large number of ill, blind, lame, and crippled. One man was there who had been ill for 38 years. 38 years. When Jesus saw him lying there and knew that he had been ill for a long time, he said to him, "Do you want to be well?" The sick man answered Jesus, "Sir, I have no one to put me into the pool when the water is stirred. While I am on my way, someone else gets down into the pool before me." Jesus said to him, "Rise, take up your mat and walk." Immediately the man became well, took up his mat and walked. Now that day was a Sabbath. So the Jews said to the man who was cured, "It is the Sabbath. It is not lawful for you to carry your mat." Jesus answered them, "The man who made me well told me, 'Take up your mat and walk.'" They asked him, "Who is the man who told you, 'Take up and walk'?" The man who was healed did not know who it was, for Jesus had slipped away, since there was a crowd there. After this, Jesus found him in the temple area and said to him, "Look, you are well. Do not sin anymore, so that nothing worse may happen to you." The man went and told the Jews that Jesus was the one who had made him well. Therefore the Jews began to persecute Jesus because he did this on the Sabbath. The Gospel of the Lord. The beautiful image of the river, first of all, it's a stream that's coming from the temple in Jerusalem. It's coming from under the altar down. It's flowing through the front gates, down the steps, going east and south, going into the desert and going into the Dead Sea, which is the lowest point in the earth. It's some 1,000 feet below sea level. It's dead because it has no exit. It just stays. And if you've ever been in Israel, in Israel, you'll know it's there, and it's filled with all kinds of salts and everything. It's called the Dead Sea. But this river, or this stream, and it's so graphic that Ezekiel, first of all, he can wade through it, then it's up to his knees, then up to his waist, and then he has to swim again across it. And along the banks are trees, and there's all kind of fish and life. And what it ends with is beautiful how it ends. It makes that Dead Sea alive so that everything can live in it. And every month they shall bear fresh fruit, these trees along the bank, for they shall be watered by the flow from the altar, from the power of God coming from that altar, out of the temple. And their fruit shall serve for food, and their leaves for medicine, healing. And we have a healing in the gospel. There's a pool there, and it was hearsay, or who knows what, true, or was it just hearsay? But when that water bubbles up, that then there's a spirit of healing there, and then if you plunge yourself into it, you'll be healed. But the poor man, he's crippled, and when he tries to get in, somebody goes in, and he said, "Well, I can't be healed." Now, Jesus sees him there. Now, obviously, we don't know if there was some other conversation between him and the Lord. We don't know. But we do know that somehow he needed to be forgiven But also Jesus asks him a question, which is rather strange. Do you want to be healed? Well, who wouldn't want to be healed? What a way do you want to be healed? It's like when you go into the doctor's office and say, oh, by the way, do you want to be healed? Of course, that's what I'm here for. Why does he ask him that? Because does he really want to be healed? I know we say we want to be healed. How often I will say, and we say it every time we have Mass, this is behold the Lamb of God, behold Jesus Christ who takes away the sins of the world. Happy are those who are called to his supper. Lord, I am not worthy that you should enter under my roof. Say but the word, and my soul shall be, everybody. And now I say, what healing are we going to ask for? Do we know what we're asking for? Sometimes we think that this is what's the problem, but maybe it's something else. I remember a man who was nursing a sick leg for years, not years, but months, putting Bengay and everything on it, And I told him, go to the doctor. He said, well, I know I've tried this before on other things, it's worked. I said, but this has been lingering. Oh, no, I can try. I've talked to here, I've talked there. It was getting worse and worse before he went. And basically, it wasn't his leg at all. It was he had a slipped disc, something else. The pain coming from his slipped disc had nothing to do with his leg. It was a nerve that was pinched in his back. He needed surgery on his back, not on his leg. And so sometimes the symptoms that we have of our ill temper or our overeating or our complaining or our angers, it's coming from something deeper. Do we want to be healed for that? Do we want to go? Or people who might be addicted to something. Are you going to a support group? Oh, I don't need that. I'm working on it, Father. I'm working on it. I have a lot of, I'm testy. Well, why are you so testy? Well, I think it's my Irish temper. Oh, I think it's my German stubbornness. Well, what about what's going on? Maybe it is. Maybe it contributes to it, because that's what's causing it. Well, I'm working on it. I'm working on it, Father. If you have a cavity, I say, well, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Well, no, you have to go to the doctor, the dentist. He has to work on it. Oh, I don't think I need to go to the dentist. In other words, do we really want it? Sometimes people will say to me, I have this temper. What's causing? I don't know. It's been there for a long time. Is there anything maybe that there's an old wound that has nothing to do with this? Maybe when you were hurt years ago, or maybe you're still holding some resentments. But maybe you need to say, Lord, help me to see it. Don't go probing, don't go digging. Lord, I want to see it. Help me so that when I'm going to communion, and I say, but first of all, what is if I'm ill-tempered all the time? And why am I, well, every time I get off of the internet, well, what am I watching on the internet? Or there's maybe sexually explicit things. I'm always tempted. Well, what are you watching? What kind of movies are you watching? Oh, I know, but it's just relaxation. It's not really pornography. But is it bothering you? Well, then. Or look back into your life. Was there something there that maybe, well, I don't want to be dredging up old things. Don't go there by yourself. Take your healer there who wants, so Lord, you take me back into my life and show me so that I can see. Maybe it was when I was in middle school. Maybe it goes back to my family. Maybe it was what my father and my mother did. Or maybe what a priest, when he shouted at me in the confession. Go back to that and say, Lord, help me back then. You're there, you're Jesus Christ yesterday, today, and forever. I remember once, it was years ago, I was at a parish. It wasn't my own, it was another one. And I was doing a day of healing. And I was saying, but when you come up for healing, because then we were praying over people. I was praying over people individually. But come up with not only if you have a bodily ache, yes, but is there maybe some old resentment that you have? Maybe there was something that you were hurt, and maybe you need to start to forgive those people. Maybe it's in the past. Just ask for that during this holy hour. We're going to have some holy hour in front of the Blessed Sacrament, and then we'll pray over it. But ask those two things. Maybe some emotional healing, and then some physical healing. I asked them that specifically, two things. May not be easy, but say at least try to begin to do that. We're going to have a whole of silence. Maybe if you want to go out and take a walk. It was a nice, beautiful grounds. So then I started healing over, and people would come up and they would say, well, I was hurt by this person, and maybe I need to this, and then, so they would bring this man come up. He said, I want to be healed of arthritis. Pray for the healing of my arthritis. It's okay. I said, is there anything? No, nothing else, just arthritis. I said, well, remember, I know what you said, but let's get on with the arthritis. Okay. You're catching it? In other words, I want a quick fix. Well, I think he needs to be healed of arthritis. I don't want to judge the man, but it looks like he has a quick temper. All I was saying, thank God I don't have to live with him. But in other words, are we willing to be cured? Are we willing to say, Lord, you see me. Help me to see more deeply. What am I doing? Emotionally, spiritually. Are you praying? Sometimes I'll give a prayer to people. I'll say, pray it. Could you pray it every day? Lord, give me strength. Lord, give us your strength, because sometimes things get tough and I am ready to quit. Heal me of that. Lord, give me your love, because sometimes people reject me and I'm tempted to be angry, maybe even tempted to hatred. Heal me of that. Lord, give me your eyes, because sometimes life gets dark and I begin to lose my way. Help me to see that more deeply, and heal me of that. Give me your courage, Lord, because often I'm so weak when I'm under pressure. And it's hard to do what's right. Heal me of that. Lord, give me yourself, because my heart was made for you, and I will not rest until I rest for you, in you. You are my healing, Lord. And sometimes that person will come back and I'll say, oh, by the way, I gave you that prayer. Do you read it? Oh, well, then I didn't have the time. Oh, I don't know where I put the card. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. I think I'll try to find it again. Do you want to be healed?